All right, man. All right, man. All right, man.
I do not believe that remotely.
What? That the Most High is going to set up a society, right, ruled by a so-called black man, and your people's going to be in change. You don't believe that? You better learn to believe it, man. You better learn to believe. You better learn how to pick cotton. That's what you better do, man. All right, I'm gonna get back into the scriptures, man. You have a nice day. All right.
God bless you.
He has done with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that that it's obvious that he hasn't blessed you with. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? 50 what? 56.
Do you mind me asking the same again?
Look, man, I'm 23, man, and I got more understanding of the scriptures than you, man. That's a damn shame, man. That's a damn shame. But hey, you're a Edomite anyway, so it don't matter. All right. I'm gonna get on with my program. You have a nice day, man. Enjoy the last seconds of your society before it's destroyed, man. All right.
God open your eyes.
He has done. All right. Now this is back in the book of 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, right, and the 3rd verse on down. Right. It says, "For knowing this first, that they shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust." See, it's your own lust, man. It's your own personal desire to have it to where the Most High, right, he's gonna come back, right, he's gonna have his son go all kind of persecutions against underneath the Romans, right, but ultimately when he's gonna come back, he's gonna save those same Romans, man. That's not gonna happen, man. See, when you go into the scriptures, man, right, and you get the definitions of certain words of which the elders did a sit down going into root words and so on and so forth, man, right, that's when you can expound upon the understanding of the scriptures. The guy was talking about having your eyes open, right? Well, you gotta have your eyes open, but the Most High is the only person that can open your eyes, and the truth becomes blindingly clear, man. That this society is gonna be destroyed, right? These Edomites, right? These ever so proud Edomites are gonna go into captivity underneath the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, right? Which are the Israelites, all right? Right? And their society is going to be destroyed. But what's going to be set up after? When you go into the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter on the 44th verse, the Most High said, after the days of these kings, so the Most High set up a kingdom that shall never be destroyed, and it shall never be left to any other people, but it shall, I believe it says, it shall destroy all, it shall devour even all of these different kingdoms, man. So you got the elite banking families and all of that, man, thinking that they've somehow found a way, right, to have their society go on and forever and ever, man. They found a way of creating chaos, right, to which through their chaos they believe that they can set up their society and continue on, man. That ain't gonna happen, all right. What you're gonna find out is you've been working for the Most High, and just because them demons that you worship, right, them demons that you pray to, they really work for the Most High, man. Right, and they're gonna show you that they work for the Most High when the Most High sends his son to come back. It's gonna be a damn beautiful thing. All right. She says there, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? But since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning, right, of the creation. And that's really talking about, you know, a lot of these jakes, man. All right, they get complacent. All right, and really they start scoffing to the extent they're like, yo, man, where's the hey, a lot of them so-called black women are like that, man. Wait, where's your power, man? When is your Lord coming back? All right, but what's going to tell you in the scriptures, man? It tells you you're supposed to be hastening the day. Right, and why are you supposed to be hastening the day? Right, because you ain't gonna know when the Lord's gonna come back. All right. See, it's all good and well right now, but that's not the scripture say when they shall think themselves in good case, right? Then are they going to be in straits? Then you're going to be in difficulties when you're going to think yourself to be in good case, man. That's the elementary understanding, right, of coming as a thief in the night, right? Coming as a surprise, right? So don't be surprised, man. If the Most High has it to where this society goes out in the next coming months, man. And that's going to be beautiful, man, because it's all kind of hell out here, man. Living in this society, man. Right underneath you Edomites, man. Right? You have brought so much grievances upon all the masses of the people, but more so upon the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. And for that, you're going to be destroyed. All right? Carrying on with the scriptures right here. This is the 5th chapter. And then I'm going to go to the Amos, the Pergamum Proverbs. Then I'm going to hit this article after that, man. I'm getting to prophecy, man. All right? It says, for this, they willingly are ignorant of that by the word of the Most High, the heavens of old, right, and the earth standing out of the waters, whereby the world that was then being overflowed with water perished, right? So just like how you had it to where Noah was out there, man, and people would have looked at him, oh, look at this crazy guy, man. Ain't water coming out of the sky, right? It seems like a mundane thing right now. You got it to where it rains all the goddamn time out here in England, right? It's just a regular thing. But back then, man, there weren't no rain or anything like that, so they must have looked at them all kind of sideways, man. But Noah was indicative of how the men of the Lord was going to be in the last days, man. But it was going to be made as a spectacle, a thing of no regard, man. Look at these guys, man. They're wearing the dresses. That's what some of these guys say. Oh, they've been prophesying since X, Y, Z, but nothing's come forth. But wait, hold on a minute. Didn't we say that there was going to be a market crash this year, and you had a market crash? Didn't we say Russia was going to come to a point, right, the way they were going to be warring out there with NATO and the US? We're at the precipice of that, man. So where are these prophecies that are not coming to pass that you're talking about? Right? And that goes back onto what it says in the 3rd verse, man. Walking after their own lust. See, it's a lust, it's an imagination of your own heart to where these prophecies are not being manifested, man. And you're going to be damn blind as a bat, of which bats are not blind. Right? But to coin the phrase out there, you're going to be as blind as a bat to not seeing to see these prophecies come forth, man. Alright? So it says here, man, but the heavens, right, and the earth, which are now, by the same word are kept in, right, reserved unto fire, right, against the day of judgment, right, and perdition of ungodly men, right. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, right, that the one day is as with the Lord 1,000 years. So it looks like we've been there forever and ever and all of that, man, but really it's a short period of time, right. You know, it feels like you're catching hell, but when you're living in eternity, 300 years of catching hell, 400 years of catching hell, it's going to be a speck of the dust, man. That's going to be a thing of no worry. Alright? It says here, man, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but he's long-suffering to usward, not willing any should perish, man. So ultimately, all Israel's going to be saved, but just like how you said to Ezra, man, don't worry about these people, man. Right? Don't worry about them, man. Alright? Because they're hard-headed. Right, they're scoffers, they walk after their own lust, they want to do what they want to do, man. So guess what? They're going to be destroyed, man. Alright? But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which, right, the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with a fervent heat. So it's going to come a day, man. Alright? Just like how you had the rain come down, now you're going to have the fire come down. But see, now it's not even inconceivable that the fire is going to come down, man. You know, see, when I bring this article out, man, they say they're talking about all kind of fire coming down, man. Now you got the fire that's gonna destroy, man. The fire, what it says, what it say in the book of Job, a fire not blown shall devour them. Something to that effect. I believe it's the book of Job, the 20th chapter. You behold, it cometh out the gulls. I might bring that out a little bit later on, man. That's a bad scripture, man. Right? See, Job had the right mentality, man. Man, really, in this truth, man, we're all like Job, man. Right? You catching hell, right? Your women are coming up against you, man. That's the story of Job, man. Right? The Most High sending it to where Satan, you know, pretty much having a bet with Satan, right? To send all kind of grievances. We're all Job, man. Right? But guess what, man? Job held the faith, man. Right? And when he got that, and he was increasing the last, the scripture say, something to the effect of, I forget the exact quote in the scripture, pretty much talks about the latter end, man. All right, don't rejoice. Right now this is the beginning of it. And it's going to be in the latter end. Something to that. I think it's in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, man. All right, it's all about the end, man. It's all about the end of this society, because the end of this society is really going to be the beginning of ours. When I say really, it is going to be the beginning of ours. All right, 2nd Ezra is the 6th chapter and the 9th verse. All right, it talks about just how because everything is foreshadowed within the scriptures. Nothing's new underneath the sun, right? So in the book of Genesis, right, it talks about the birth of Jacob and Esau, and how when Jacob, right, was born, Esau was born first. But when Jacob came out, he was holding the heel of Esau, right? Going to show you, man, we're gonna drag these Edomites down, all right? And when we drag them down, we're gonna be set up after, man. All that was for the foreshadowing of what was gonna come after, what's gonna come in right now, all right? It says here, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye ought to be in holy conversation, right, and godliness, looking for and hastening unto the coming day of the Most High. So you're supposed to be looking, right, and hastening unto the coming day of the Most High, man. Right, that should be your pleasure, man. That's what you're supposed to be delighting in. In fact, when you go into the scriptures in the book of Revelations, it says, here is the patience and the faith of the saints, man. That's what you're supposed to be. That's what really that's what drives us, man. Right, knowing that your devils is gonna be destroyed, man. Right, knowing that you're gonna get all kind of adversities put upon you. In fact, it says, the scripture says in the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter, give unto her double, right, in the cup that she had filled, man. All right, so that's gonna be beautiful. That the Most High's gonna allow it to where we give you devils twice as much as hell you gave upon us. That's gonna be a damn beautiful thing. No pictures, please. All right, this is the book of Proverbs, the first chapter, right, and the 20th verse. I ain't brought this out in a minute, man. All right, this is Proverbs, the first chapter, on the 20th verse. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. So all throughout the world, you got it to where wisdom is the ability to make good judgment, man. Right, the ability to make good judgment is going to be what? It's going to be refined. It's going to be restricted by the 613 laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. That's what's going to give you the ability to make good judgment. All right, that wisdom is being cried for throughout the streets, throughout the four corners of the world, starting forth with the men of GMS, but by way of Yahweh, Yahushua pushing this word through for us, right with that great millstone, man. All right. So it says there, wisdom crieth without, right? She uttereth her voice, right, in the streets. She crieth in the chief places of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the openings of the gates, she's saying, how long you simple ones will you love simplicity. So that's really talking about the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man, the Israelites. How long you Israelites gonna love simplicity, man? How long you gonna carry on in a state of folly, man, in a state of being dumbed down, man? How long you gonna carry on in that? All right, but when you go into the book of Isaiah, the 6th chapter and the 9th verse, tells you that they're gonna have hard heads, right? Hard minds that they can't understand, and ears to where they can't hear the truth, right? Till the cities be laid waste, man. So you people are gonna really understand this, the magnitude and the veracity of which Yahushua and Yahushua, the Most High God, so you can understand, right? It's gonna come in, right when He destroys, in the moment that He destroys the society. That's when you're gonna understand. That's when you're gonna perceive the truth. All right. That's when the penny's gonna drop, so to speak, man. All right. So it says there, how long ye simple ones will ye love simplicities, right? And the scorner, right, delight in their scorning. And the fools hate knowledge. How long you fools gonna hate the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, man? All right. And just like I said, as the missiles drop and they hit, that's when the penny's gonna drop, and you're gonna understand. You're gonna be like, God damn, man. All right. That's them prophets, the men that you had out there in the streets preaching this word, they were on point, man. They were on deck. All right, that's when you're gonna understand it, man. But see, right now, man, it's like the Most High has put a great big sheet over the truth, to where only certain people is gonna be able to access that information. Maybe even as basic and as elementary as understanding what's going out there on the news. People don't even understand that, man. They don't even get that, man. That flies way over their head, man. See, that information is of a too high standard for the masses of the people, man. Right? So the Most High has put a big block up in their minds, right, to where they're not gonna get it. They ain't gonna understand it. All right. So it says here, man. Right, turn you at my reproof, and behold, I will pour my spirit unto you. So when you had the brothers coming into this thing throughout the four corners of the earth, we started out in this thing, man. Right. The first thing you would have got was reproof, man. Right, knowing that you wasn't 100, man, knowing that you was going up. Right, and guess what? When you was told that, man, when you turn at the reproof of the Most High, that's when you got right, man. All right, that's when you got the understanding, man. That's when the Most High poured out His Spirit unto you, which is a beautiful thing. All right. It says there, man. Turn you at my reproof, and behold, I will pour my spirit unto you, right, and I will make known my words unto you, And it says, because I called and ye refused, and I stretched out my hand and no man regarded. So just like we're stretching out the hand right now, and really this is the peaceable time. See, when you go into the book of Ezekiel, the 9th chapter on the 4th verse, it says, behold, I will send many fishes, right? And we're going to fish them, right? That's what's happening now. This is a peaceable activity that we are endeavoring right now, right? But just like it says in the book of Ezekiel, the 9th chapter later on down, it says, I'll send forth hunters, all right? The Most High is going to turn the men that he raises up as the prophets, as the fishermen, he's going to turn them into hunters, all right? And guess what, man? They're going to bring all kind of grievances upon, starting forth, because we go into the scripture, says, begin at my sanctuary. In fact, let me bring that precept out, man. That's a beautiful scripture. It's the book of Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. It's Ezekiel 9:4. It says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, go through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So, right, so the Most I gave you an instruction, right, to where you were supposed to go out here, right, through the midst of the city, all right. I sent up a standard, right, to where the elect was going to follow that standard, all right. It says, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after through the midst, through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have pity. So when the Most High turns these servants from fishermen into hunters, right, they're gonna go into the cities and smite, right, to the extent that they're gonna smite, right, with no pity, man. All right, and it goes to show you what the scripture says in the book of Zechariah, the 13th chapter, on the 8th verse, the 2/3 has to be destroyed. But furthermore, when you go into the so-called New Testament, of which the whole thing is consistent, so there's no New Testament, Old Testament, it's just one good, well-written book, man. That's all it is, man. Right? It's just the knowledge, wisdom, understanding. But when you go into the so-called New Testament, it says, Yahweh said it best when he said, those mine which would not that I should reign over them, bring them hither, right, and slay them before me. That's what the scripture says, man. So those that belong unto the Most High, right, they disregard this truth, right? They wouldn't turn at the reproof of the Most High, quoting what it says in the book of Proverbs, the 1st chapter, around about the 20th verse, which I'm going to get back to in a second, right? Those who won't turn at the reproof of the Most High said it to where the Lord said it back when he said, bring them hither and slay them before me, man. Right? So it's gonna be an order, as you have it here in the book of Ezekiel 9:4. It's gonna be an order put out there, right? That we gonna start at our own people, man. Right? So how much hope do you Edomites have, man? Right? No hope, man. You have no hope, man. Zero, man. Okay? Right, it says there, man. And to the others he said in mine hearing, go after him through the midst of the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have pity. Slay utterly old and young. And it says both maids and little children and women will come not near any man upon whom the mark is. Like I quoted, man, it says, begin at my sanctuary. All right, so with this thing, this devastation, as you will, all right, well, which ain't gonna be no devastation for us, man. It's gonna be quite a glorious time, man. It's gonna be a rejoiceful time, man. It's gonna be drinks worth, you know. All right, this devastation is gonna begin at the sanctuary of the Most High. Right, it's gonna filter out throughout all of the nations to where we're gonna have, you know, different ranks of slaves and that, man. You're gonna have taskmasters, which the elders persist that those are gonna be the Hamites, and it makes sense, all right, because they got the stature, right, and they got the focus and the discipline from time to time to handle that, man. Right at the bottom of the food chain is gonna be you Edomites, man, out there, you know, managing, you know, because you like management so goddamn much. Manage the waste, manage how the, you know, the irrigation of you know, not the irrigation, how them feces is dealt with, man. All right. Getting back into the book of Proverbs, the 22nd chapter says, how long ye simple ones will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in scorning. All right, and the fools hate knowledge. It says, turn you at my reproof, and behold, I will pour my spirit unto you, right, and I'll make known my words. So you turn you unto the understanding of the Most High is going to make known his words unto you. Right, the deep mysteries of the scriptures that become ever apparent, right? But you gotta start the hard thing first. You gotta not get emotional when you get cursed out. And that's one big problem you got amongst, you know, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. That starts off with it, you know, goes back onto the curses where it talks about, believe it's in the book of Isaiah, man. Behold, there's a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass it, man. Right? That was instituted, right, by these Edomites, right, through the Willie Lynch system, man. All right, to where they set up, you know, they disrupted the whole family structure of the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. All right, now, you know, Negro woman, the Hispanic woman, Native American woman, they're the heads of their households, man. All right, they're the heads of their households, right? And then what has that done? That's completely disrupted, right, the whole structure of how things are supposed to be conducted within a household, making these little niggas, right, these little Native Americans, right, and these little Hispanic niggas ever more emotional, man. Right? They don't, you know, manhood is like a thing of the past right now, man. You don't really see no manly men out here, like the elders have been saying. And you know, when you see that and you perceive that, man, you really get into understanding how emotional, right, these little children are these days, man. All right, but that all goes back onto the scriptures, man. All right, but if you don't, you know, if you get past that, all right, once you get reproved, guess what, man? The Most High is gonna open up those understandings of the scriptures to where you're gonna understand, man. The Lord ain't coming back for everybody, all right? The Lord is not gonna save everybody, all right? In fact, He's coming back, right? Not peaceably like them Christian churches tell you, but He's coming back, right? In a warlike manner. When you go into the scriptures, it says He ain't gonna meet you as a man. It says, behold, I will not meet thee as a man, meaning He's gonna be in His celestial form. And when you go into the book of